I would like to call the first speaker, Joe Thomas. Great speakers for great speeches. This will be speech number 10 from the basic manual. The speech objective is to inspire. The time requirement is 8 to 10 minutes. And the speaker lives in Margate, works with his brother Bill, and is really glad to be here today.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and a warm welcome to our guests. We, fellow Toastmasters, we are a unique bunch of individuals, as you can all tell from being here. Not only do we write our own speeches, we then perform them in front of an audience. We have no staff to craft our eloquent repertoire. We only have our life's experiences to draw upon to come up with our speeches. This is speech number 10 for me. It's been a very interesting experience and a long journey of learning. I've learned so much from doing research on the internet, and I've learned so much from all the fellow Toastmasters that have evaluated me and gone out of their way to help me out and to tell me, stand like this, don't move around so much, and try to improve my speeches, which I have been trying to concentrating on, and I appreciate it very much. I've also been studying a lot of the presidential candidates and the way that they give speeches in hopes of learning from them and the things that they do and the speeches that they give. I've especially been watching Barack Obama and his style of speaking. It's amazing the way he's just captivated the whole country. I've really been watching him speak. Whenever he gives a speech, he never seems to say more than 4 or 5 words in the same sentence. It makes it appear as if he's really thinking about the answer that he's about to give you. When in fact, he has said nothing at all. He is a master at drawing you in and using his voice to inspire you and to lift you up. I believe in hope and faith. No, that's 2 women I met in the bar last night. I believe in hope and change. Yes, that's it, change. I hope that something really good is going to happen to this country out of this election. I really hope that our candidates and our elected officials are going to pull their heads out of you know where and start listening to us as to the things that we want to do, how we want to proceed. As far as change goes, that's the only change any of you are going to see until we do something about it. We together have to stand up and take this country back. I digress. Great speeches for great speakers. It was a bitter cold January day. Heavy snow had fallen the previous night, and a thick white blanket covered the entire area. Thoughts of canceling the celebration were put aside. The election of 1960 had been a close one, and the young Democrat senator from Massachusetts had won. Earlier that day, he had attended Mass before picking up President Eisenhower to drive to the Capitol to give his inauguration speech. This young president spoke of hope, and he spoke of change also. He flat out told the other nations of the world and us what he was going to do. In his speech, I quote, "We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, in order to assure the survival and success of liberty for this nation." He was a leader. He stood up and told us what we should do and what he was going to do. He spoke not of free health care, entitlements, help me with my mortgage that I never should have been allowed to get in the first place. He looked at us to be strong when he told us, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Not stand there with your hand out waiting for the government to take care of you. He was a leader that led us and expected greatness from us, not turning around and telling us what he's going to do for us to get elected. He wanted us to accept responsibilities for our own actions. He was a tremendous man, a great leader, and I have much respect. And how did we pay him back? We assassinated him. My last example is probably not a Toastmaster, but a really good speaker nonetheless. His short life only spanned between 30 and 35 years. No one really knows for sure how long he was around. He spoke of brotherhood, and he spoke of love and respect. He told us, do unto others as you would have others do unto you, which we don't seem to follow those principles at all today. He tried bringing all the races together in one house, one place of worship, so that we could live together and be happy and be peaceful. If he could see some of these pastors now, or preachers, or whatever you call them, and the hatred that they are preaching inside the church, preaching hatred and divisiveness, I think you would be ashamed to see what's going on down here right now. He was not only a great speaker, which I'm sure he was, but his messages that he was giving to us are still resounding today. He told us to take care of each other. Do not covet your neighbor's wife. Do not be greedy. I don't know all the 10 Commandments, but I memorized when I was in church. I had to give a speech for church. Okay. Our lives, fellow Toastmasters, are but a speck of sand in an hourglass of time. We are only here for a very short period, but our words have the ability to live on and on. If we gather all our information, we look on the internet, we strive to do our best, and we put our heart and soul into our speeches, maybe just one of them will be a speech good enough to have repeated again and again. I'm sure some of you have heard before about the speech, Acres of Diamonds. It was a speech about a gentleman in Africa who was looking for his fortune. And he had a big, beautiful farm. He sold his farm to go off and look for diamonds. When he was out on his journey looking for diamonds, the young farmer who purchased his farm was wading around in a creek, and he found something shiny down in the water. He picked it up, took it back to his house. A friend came over later that day and saw that piece of glass on his counter. It ended up being one of the largest diamonds ever found. This gentleman was living on one of the biggest diamond deposits in all Africa. And the farmer that was wanting diamonds sold it and went out looking for his other diamonds. The gentleman who gave that speech gave it hundreds and hundreds of times because it was such a good speech, which I'm sure, all can strive for it to be able to come up with a good speech that's going to last through the ages. All of us have greatness inside of us. We just have to reach deep down inside and grab it. You never know what your abilities are until you try to do something that's very uncomfortable for you. Pamela tells us every week, it's going to be a great week. We're going to be the best. She's always coming up with things to encourage us and help us to make us feel better about ourselves. So I believe, Toastmasters, all of us have greatness inside of us. We just have to recognize it, pull it out, and do something about it. Like Scott said this morning, our life is here for a very short period of time. We need to take advantage of it and enjoy it while we can. Madam Toastmaster.